10 years after the nuclear accident, work at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station is far from complete. The biggest current issue is what to do with water that seeps into the reactor basements and mixes with water used to cool damaged nuclear fuel. The build-up of contaminated water is a challenge for TEPCO engineers, who pump out excess water, then treat and store it. Today, more than 1 million tonnes of water is being stored on site, and TEPCO is running out of space.
We're trying to reduce the quantity of contaminated water. In the beginning, we were collecting 400 to 500 tons of water per day. Today, it's 100 to 150 tons.
The facility's water treatment technology is unable to remove one radioactive element, tritium. This year, Japan's government decided it would release the water into the Pacific, a move supported by the International Atomic Energy Agency.
As per the official standard in our country, a rate below 60,000 becquerels of tritium in 1 liter of water is acceptable. There are no risks to health, even if you were to drink 2 liters of water with this concentration of tritium every day for 70 years. But we aim to release water at a rate that is 1/40th of that concentration, so it's very safe.
But Fukushima's fishermen are not convinced. After years of testing, fish in the region have been declared safe to eat. But food from Fukushima still has an image problem. As a result, some countries continue to ban imports of Fukushima produce. Fishermen say the decision to release the contaminated water into the ocean will destroy 10 years of hard work to rebuild their industry.
At first, when I heard their decision, I was shocked. But now it's building into anger.
Who will be responsible if there's a problem? If the radioactivity in the sea is found to be high, it'll be a disaster for us.
Why did the government decide to put our livelihoods in danger without even discussing with us? Because of this, the price of local fish has fallen by 20 to 30%.
But at the local fish market, most of the people we met wanted to support the fishermen. And some said they believed the authorities were doing everything they could to protect the ocean.
I would be worried if they weren't taking any preventive measures. But they're testing all the fish, so I'm reassured.
I make a point of giving our child food from Fukushima. And now I'm pregnant again with our second child. We plan to do the same again.
Nuclear power plants around the world routinely release tritium into the sea. France's nuclear industry releases 10 times more in a year than TEPCO plans to do at Fukushima over several years.
Science says that releasing the tritium is not that harmful. People are just talking about the images. Oh, Fukushima, dangerous, scary. No, it's not. People are using it without the consideration of science, without the consideration of evidence.
Nearby South Korea and China, with which Japan has tricky relations, have condemned the water's release. While in Fukushima, some residents no longer trust the authorities. Some believe the accident has contaminated the water supply, like these 12 mothers who test local seawater twice a year. They collect 80 litres and analyse it at this laboratory, which they opened soon after the disaster with donations from around the world.
Radiation levels in the seawater are not high these days. As for tap water, the level was high just after the accident, but that's not the case today. It has stabilized. But personally, I am still concerned, so I use mineral water.
The women test about 200 items a month brought by local people: sand from parks, river water, vegetables. France 24 asked them to test peppers grown in Fukushima that we'd bought at a local supermarket. The test revealed no radioactive contamination. They're safe to eat. That's no surprise to these residents, but they'll continue to test items to prove Fukushima produce is safe.
The problem with radioactivity is that it affects our everyday lives. The food, the places we live in, parks and schools. Unfortunately, children cannot choose where they eat or where they live. So we, the parents, have to be vigilant.
A decade on, almost all of the neighbourhoods near Fukushima Daiichi have been decontaminated and some people have returned home. But the problem of pollution caused by the disaster continues. Even if it solves the water issue, TEPCO still faces the difficult task of decommissioning the plant, an expensive operation that's expected to last decades.